So I talk about elephants and crocodiles and about the convergence of lifelines. I just will explain first a little bit about the White Elephant Club, because I think not everybody knows these details. It was established 2004 in Istanbul during the Congress, the ISPRS Congress, and we have a president, a secretary, and a honorary president, who is Gottfried Konecny. Now, why White Elephant? There's a parable about elephant and crocodiles, which Gottfried told us very often before this club was established. And it goes like this. Elephants are animals who work very hard for their living, for their food, and they're elegant and they're good animals. And as opposed to this, crocodiles are just sitting in a pond waiting for the bait to come along and catch it. So he always proposed that we should be elephants rather than crocodiles. In parallel, he had the idea of a kind of a club of Rome. He took club of Rome as a model, as an example. And as you may know, they published already in the year 68, the report about the limits to growth. And this was a basis for all the studies about environmental and climate issues that came later. And like the Club of Rome, we wanted to have something which he wanted to call originally Club of Istanbul. Then Shunji stepped in with his connections to Thailand. This is why I have here a picture of two Thai colleagues, Visha and Suvit, from the council meeting in Chiang Mai. So Shunji brought in the idea of White Elephant, and we accepted and we liked it. So this is how it came about. Now, we have 4 goals in this club, and one is to bridge the gap between generations, to support young people, and I like this one very much. It visualizes our situation where we like to support young students, young people. Now, about convergence of lifelines. When I studied Gottfried's CV in detail, I found out that there are so many similarities to my own. I mean, Gottfried was always ahead in time, ahead with his work, and so forth. But what I try here is to connect his own timeline to my timeline. He was born not too far away from my hometown, Bernegg, in northern Bavaria, and especially after he came to West Germany as a refugee in '46, he came very close to my hometown, spent a few years there. I just, Gottfried, for you, mention Schnabelweit, Greußen, Pegnitz, you know all these small towns as I do. So there's a time delay of 14 years. And this time delay, plus minus 1 or 2 years, goes through all our career up to the end. So the surveying job he took over in '45, I got in touch with surveying at high school, 61. Then he worked as a diploma engineer, or studied diploma engineer at TH Munich from 50 to 54. I did it from 63, 68. If you take difference, you get again these 14 years. He took an internship in Finland. I took one in Turkey. 59 his, 66 mine. I was not at OSU at this time, but I was an assistant like him at TH Munich, Technische Hochschule München, 57 to 69. And did the PhD, he did his PhD in Munich also 59. I did my PhD 74. Then we have we have the work as a chief engineer or assistant professor, in his case 59, my case 74. The start as a full professor in Hanover, my start in Zurich. The ISPRS involvement, the first serious involvement, he as a Congress director, me as a Commission 5 president. The China activities, Deren Lee will talk more about this, 78, me 88. So now the thing is converging in terms on the timeline a little bit. You know, here we have only 10-year difference. Honorary professorship of Wuhan University, 86, 95, only 9 years. And finally, it converges in the year 2004 at the foundation of the White Elephant Club. Now, from now on, I just show you a few pictures to support what I've said before. Sorry, Gottfried, I have no pictures from Munich, but I'm sure you are aware of this instrument, this Photogrammetry camera TAF, terrestrische Ausrüstung Finsterwalder. You must have used it. I used it a lot, as you can see, as a student, as a PhD student. And at those times, when we had our labs, our field work, smoking pipes and drinking from the bottle beer, even a girl, was quite common, okay? Now, if I look at these pictures, I realize why I have problem with my back nowadays. Now, this is a very early picture from a visit to China of a German delegation, 1979. If you look at the Chinese colleagues, they're all wearing what we used to call the Mao dress in blue, essentially. In the first row, most of these people are from Germany. You see Gottfried, Fritz Ackermann, Hacker from Zeiss Oberkochen, Seber, Dr. Seber, Dr. Reinhardt, and a few other people. So this was, I think, Gottfried, your second visit to China, 1 year before you have been there. Really in detail, I learned about you, and I met you in 1980 at the Congress that was mentioned before, where China was admitted to the ISPRS, and also ISP, photogrammetry, was extended towards remote sensing. Actually, what I want to mention here is I received the Otto von Gruber Award, and there was also the little Gottfried at this ceremony, Gottfried, the son of our Gottfried. And little Gottfried was, I think, 14 years old, and he had a camera, and he took pictures, and he told me, I will send you pictures of this event. Gottfried, I'm still waiting for these pictures, but I still would like to have them. Okay, 2 pictures from OSU. Gottfried, you remember your previous professors here. And further down, this was a picture of 1981, almost a generation later. But you still have Professor Urho Uotila, Dick Rapp, and Dean Merchant, for instance, in the picture. This was 1988, when Gottfried was still on council, and I was Commission 5 president. This was my first visit to China, 1988. I visited, among other places, Chengdu Institute of Surveying and Mapping, and I gave 7 presentations. At this time, our Chinese colleagues still knew how to squeeze things out of us. And I realized Gottfried was there 10 years ago already. This is 1988, after I took over the Commission 5. We had a council and commission president meeting in Zurich. And 2 years later, we had the Commission 5 symposium, photogrammetry meets machine vision. And this picture down here is a very precious for me, because here you see Kenneth Torligat and Einery Kilpille together with Gottfried. Both are not with us anymore, unfortunately. And this was 96 in Wuhan, where we celebrated Professor Wang's 90 years. And you see a few people who you know in the pictures. This was in the preparation and at the Vienna Congress 1996. And further up right, there's a picture from Wuhan where Gottfried gave a speech to about 5,000 people, we were told. He had an interpreter with him. Now, 2004 has been mentioned as a date for the establishment of the White Elephant Club. And Gottfried, if you remember, we were still heavy in smoking cigars. I think this is over now, but it was a good time. It was a good period. Leshan Buddha, close to Chengdu, 2006. And our plan was actually to go to Tibet, to Lhasa, but we had to take a medical exam at Chengdu Hospital. And as a result of this, Gottfried was unfortunately not allowed to continue, but he made it a year later through the help of Deren. 2007 in Urumqi, Sherman Wu celebrated 90 years, and Gottfried, you should have such a crown, your birthday. On the same trip, we went to Kashgar, 2007, and had a good time there. Kashgar is on the Silk Road, the last stop on the Chinese part of the Silk Road in Xinjiang. A very interesting city. Wuhan 2009, Professor Ackermann celebrated 80 years. This is the White Elephant Seminar speakers, also 2009. These are group photos from the Beijing ISPRS Congress, Melbourne 2012, and Vienna 2010. In Melbourne, we accepted the first female member of White Elephant, Margaret. Welcome again. And this is in Novosibirsk, 2013, and Istanbul, 2014. And another picture of White Elephant seminar speakers. Now, the final event, the most recent event, was this conference in Guilin, where we also celebrate a few birthdays, and we really had a good time. And I have to thank again Deren Lee and our other Chinese friends for setting it up. It was really great, and you see people are very happy. And Gottfried is in the center of that group. And he gave his speech, what is a proposal, how to write a proposal in the White Elephant seminar. And we had a wonderful trip on the Li River with Gottfried and the supporting folks. And finally, happy birthday again, Gottfried, from all of us. I don't know if you remember this elephant. It was in Sri Lanka, 2008. And if you ask for a suggestion for the future, I know that you are interested in the history of philosophy and the religions. So I refer to a phrase that is handed down from Buddha, and I quote, "Don't cry over the past, it's gone. Don't stress about the future, it hasn't arrived yet. Live in the present and make it beautiful. Despite of Corona problem, please follow the rule of Buddha, the advice of Buddha." Thank you very much to all of you.